Right, so today is episode 2 of the F1 2013 Hotlap series. Today we're once again taking a look at the 1980s classic cars. In this case we're driving a Williams, I think from the 1986, might be 88 season. I don't actually know the designation, it's probably be in the first clip that you see. But I'm trying a different style of recording this time. Before, the way I did it was I took one clip and I broke it down and I narrated over it and I repeated that same clip 3 times. As you might have noticed, the freeze frames are very low resolution and incredibly hard to work out where I am. So, I'm trying a new style today. I'm going into the replay and I'm actually recording this as I would record a live commentary sort of thing. This is still a live commentary, but you just then saw the lap. That was, as it says, a 1 minute 20 dead. I was pretty surprised at that. I've been hitting 121s and 129.09s, and I got a 120 dead. I was hoping for a bit faster than that, but it's still a pretty good lap. So, we're going to take a look at these first 2 corners leading up to the start-finish straight. Now, getting these 2 corners right is essential to having a good lap. Not so much this corner. You can get away with going around this at a slightly slower speed, but if you want a good start, you need to have a good exit on that last corner. So I'm actually going to be using my pedals to speed up and slow down the replay here. So if we just look up the corner, right, as you can see, approaching this corner I'm in 6th gear and I'm doing 160 miles an hour, and I gently let off the throttle just for a minute there. We dropped to 145 there. That corner you can get away with not letting off the throttle on, providing you turn in early enough and clip the apex, which I didn't. But if you can get the apex there, you can go through this corner flat out in 6th gear in one of these older cars. Some cars that's going to be 5th gear, but most cars 6th gear. So, coming out that corner, as you can see, building up the speed, coming down towards turn 6. The braking zones on the classic tracks are very hard to work out because there is nothing really to tell you where to brake. In this case, I think the best example I can give is that recovery truck there. If we just speed up a bit more, as we can see, when I get to... that doesn't work, okay. When I get to the end of the cab of the recovery truck, I start braking. You're going to want to... now, it's very easy to lock up on this corner. As you can see, there's second, come on, there's 2nd gear. You want to start turning in as soon as you shift down from 3rd, and it's important that you get this turn as tight as possible, but you sacrifice the exit. You want to let the car go light on the exit because you need to build up speed on the straight. If you put your foot down and you're still in a tight turn, the wheel is still full lock, just spinning out, end of. So you need a nice clean turn on this one. So as you see, watching in slow motion, there is the wheel. It's gone to full lock there, as we can see. And I'm gently applying the throttle throughout the corner. And as you can see, I'm letting up on the wheel there and just gently slacking off towards the exit. Try and get that curb there. I went a bit wide, but then you just want to go flat out and on the straight towards this first corner. So, the lap begins here. And just before we get to the first corner, all of the 2nd gear corners, no matter what gear you're shifting down from, or whether it's 4th, 5th, 6th, no matter what, 2nd gear corners are incredibly easy to lock up on because you are reducing the car from such a velocity that it's just not used to braking that hard. You find that when you're slowing down, if you apply the brakes, and even if you're shifting down at the right times, when you get to 1st, all the car wants to do is lock up. So, the lap begins. Now, coming up to this first corner, once again, the braking zones are a bit weird. The best example I can give is, once again, these geezers here. The geezers that are clapping along. If you start braking somewhere around here, down into 2nd gear, and what you want to do is you want to get nice and tight on this corner here. Very little throttle until the exit. You do want to power on the exit, because you need a good exit towards the next corner. So if we watch that back at full speed from the braking zone, and there we go, there's the power on the exit. The run up to the next corner, you're going to be shifting up probably 2 gears. You're probably going to be in 4th gear by the time you get to the next corner. The next corner is a weird one because it feeds straight after on the exit this corner. You get a tiny straight and it feeds straight into a left-hander that leads round to the double right-hander and then into the chicane. This corner can be pretty tricky. If you're attacking this corner in 3rd gear, that's too high a gear. You want to be going around in 2nd gear. As you can see here, there's the braking zone. So if we wind back a bit, there is no braking zone for this corner. There's nowhere to look out for that you can start braking at. It's a case of you're going to have to use the racing line on this one. Somewhere about here you want to start shifting down into 2nd gear, and you want to pull nice and tight on the corner. Try not to get on the grass, but try and click the apex, and as you can see, going light on the exit, throttle is down, and there's the gear change. And as you see, feeding straight into the double left-hander here. So there's a bit of straight, and be careful on the exits of this corner actually. I'll just wind back. The exits of the corner you can spin off on quite easily. And certainly going around this corner here, it is very easy to spin off. If you're changing up too late or too early, you can spin off. So a flat out corner here. These 2 corners are strange, and I don't know why they're doing this, but these 2 corners here are supposed to be flat out. Well, no, the first one is supposed to be flat out. The second one you are supposed to change down 1 or 2 gears for. I only change down 1, depending on how fast I'm going through. What you're supposed to do on these corners is get the apex nice and tight. I go slightly wide on this one, but if you get the apex right, you should come through clean. Sometimes I've gone through the apex at full lock in 6th gear, same speed as I always do, and I end up straight in the gravel trap. I don't know why. You just need to be very careful with this corner. You see what speed I take it at. I am doing 156 miles an hour through that corner, flat out, drops down to 150, and as you can see, I end up clipping the gravel trap there. I managed to put it back onto the curb, but that corner is something to be wary of. Don't take it flat out if you're not confident. If you need to, lift off the throttle or just very small brake, very just like sharp, quick tap of the brake, and you should get round fine. Coming up to this next corner here though, you need to shift down a gear. I go into 5th, and you're taking it at about 120 miles an hour there. I drop down to about 110. And then we get the run up to the chicane here. Now this chicane is slightly weird because if you watch the official Hotlap video, whoever's doing the Hotlap takes the first corner in 4th gear and the second corner in 3rd gear. I take the first corner in 4th gear and then take the second corner in 3rd. And there's a reason for that. If you take this corner in 2nd, the exit is a lot harder to get out on. If you take it in 3rd, not only are you in a higher gear to speed off on, there's not as much torque being delivered to the wheels at once, so it's very easy exit. As you see, there's 4th gear. Bit of a blip of the accelerator in between, and then just you need to stick straight to that apex, down to 3rd gear, about 80, then 4th. And you can sometimes get 5th on the run up to this corner. You want to hit the braking zone nice and early on this one. This is no, not nice and early, nice and late on this one. This is a 180 degree hairpin. As you can see, the braking zone, I would say somewhere around here. This is where I start braking. I don't actually have any marker boards or anything, but you start braking somewhere around here, and you want to be in 2nd gear for this corner and need to power on towards the exits. If you watch back at full speed, there we go. There was a bit of the car's getting a bit of wheel spin there, but not too much. So if you watch it back in slow motion now, as you can see, there's the 2nd gear, and we're down to 100 miles an hour. Taking out of the speedo, going down there, we're down to about 70 there, 75, 60, I can't see anymore. It's probably about 50 on the exit, I'd say. Yep, 55 probably is going to be the lowest speed that you reach. And on the exit there in 3rd gear. Next corner is a flat out one, not much to say about that, just stick to the apex. The next corner you want to lift off slightly for though. You can take it at full speed, but only if you get the right line on it. I tend to go in at 5th and sometimes I shift down, sometimes I just lift off. In this instance, I shift down and there we are in 4th and back up to 5th and taking the next corner. The next 2 corners are slightly weird as the braking zone, like I say, is there. Braking zone starts here just before the runoff here. You want to go down into second. The corner is makeable at third, but you're straight. It's a double right-hander here. The first corner, you want to be on the accelerator fairly early into the turn, and the corner after that, you can lift off towards the beginning of the turn, and then you flat out towards the end. It's like there's no dilly-dallying with the end of this, the second corner here. You need a good exit to get a good run up for the next 3 corners, which bring us back round to the start-finish straight. So as you can see, there's second gear, early on the accelerator, back up into third, and off the accelerator, back on again. Next 2 corners, flat out, just as simple as that. You just want to get nice and early, full lock in, clip in the apex if you can. That was a good example. And like I say, starting here, just slow down again to second gear, and then just get this corner nicely. Now you might remember the first example I did this wasn't done very well. I went slightly wide. This is a much better example. As you can see, I'm straightening up there, and we're off again. And that completes our lap of Jerez. Okay, so taking one last look at this lap of Jerez. Coming up towards this last corner here, you want to be nice and early on the braking zones. Clipping the apex if you can, I missed there. And going nice and early on the exit, on the accelerator. Up onto this start-finish straight line, run up to this first corner. And with the braking zone, it's right by this red van here. So down, second gear from 6. Nice and tight on the apex, nice and early on the accelerator. Run up to this second corner. Once again, tight on the apex, let the car go light. Gentle on the accelerator. These next 2 corners you want to be really careful, the car can really spin out here. So there's run up to the double right-hander. You want to go flat out here, be careful on the apex though, I went wide, try not to do that. Down a gear into 5th, nice, let the car go light. Okay, this double chicane here, 4th gear, then 3rd, important that you blip the throttle in between the 2 to keep up momentum. Nice and late on the brakes on this corner though, down into second gear again. Run up once again to a double left-hander. Okay, so flat out on this first corner here, as we can see. There we go, flat out. Can't try and get the exit curve there, and this next corner you can go flat out, but I would prefer to shift down a gear. You don't want to go wide on this corner and ruin your lap. Down into second gear for the double left-hander. Nice and early on the throttle. Once again, off the throttle, early on the throttle. There. So, coming up to these last 2 corners here, very high-speed corners, flat out, just clip the apex. You want to get as much momentum for this last corner here, and once again, back down into second gear, nice and tight on the corner, straighten up as you go out, and back on the accelerator towards the start-finish straight line. And that concludes a lap of Jerez.